All right, let's talk about your warehouses. You've got the robots, but are they working as smart as they could be? Today, we're diving into some fascinating new research that shows how a pretty simple shift in logic can unlock some absolutely massive gains in efficiency.
First things first, let's just state the obvious. We all know this number, right? Order picking is a beast. It can eat up, almost 2/3 of your entire operating budget? It is the single biggest cost on your floor, which means any improvement here goes straight to the bottom line.
So where's all that money actually going? Well, it's going into footsteps. In a manual warehouse, the picker spends most of their time just walking the aisles, looking for things. That's the huge inefficiency that robotic systems were designed to fix in the first place.
Okay, so the robots stop the pickers from walking. Problem solved, right? Well, not so fast. This brings up a brand new and super critical question. Are the robots themselves actually moving intelligently? Or have we just swapped out human traffic for a different kind of robot traffic jam? We're about to peel back a layer of hidden inefficiency you might not even realize is there. So here's our game plan. We'll quickly nail down the core cost challenge, then look at two very different ways of thinking about how robots get their tasks. After that, we'll see the power of a smarter, integrated strategy and introduce a pretty radical idea called split orders. And finally, we'll get to the good stuff, the hard numbers, and what it all means for your facility.
So let's get right into it. We're focusing on what the research calls Robotic Mobile Fulfillment Systems, or RMFS. It's really just the technical name for the kind of automated warehouses that many of you are already running.
You know the setup. It's pretty straightforward. Robots grab these mobile shelves, we call them pods, and bring them directly to a human picker who stays put. This is great. It gets rid of all that walking time. But, and this is the key, the real optimization doesn't come from just having the robots. It comes from the intelligence that's directing them.
And this brings us to the absolute heart of the matter. When it comes to telling these robots what to do, the system can think in one of two ways, one task at a time, or with a big picture integrated plan. And let me tell you, the difference in the results is, well, it's staggering.
To make this super clear, let's use a simple analogy that everyone in logistics is going to get right away. Planning a delivery route with a bunch of different stops.
So, you've got the old way, the sequential plan. This is purely reactive. A driver drops off a package and then figures out where to go next. It's inefficient, right? Now compare that to the smart way, the integrated plan. Before the driver even leaves the building, the system looks at all the stops and calculates the single most efficient route. Instead of making lots of little uninformed decisions, it makes one big optimal master plan.
And believe it or not, that is the exact same choice your warehouse management system is making every single second. Is it just reacting, sending a robot to the next task in the queue? Or is it thinking ahead, proactively planning for the most efficient path for everyone, all at once?
So what does this integration actually look like on the warehouse floor? Let's take a look.
Okay, check this out. The difference is night and day. On the left, you see the sequential plan. It needs 6 separate robot trips to get these orders done. But on the right, the integrated plan looks at all the orders at once and finds a much smarter way. It gets the exact same work done in just 4 trips. That's a 33% reduction in robot travel. Just gone, wiped out by thinking ahead.
This all boils down to one really important metric, the pod station visit. Just think of every single visit as a unit of cost. It takes time, it uses energy, it creates congestion. So the goal of a truly intelligent system is to slash this number. Why? Because fewer visits means less wasted robot travel and less time your pickers are just standing around waiting.
But hold on, because integrated planning, that's just level 1. The research we're looking at pushes it even further, with a really radical idea that kind of challenges one of the basic rules of how a warehouse works.
So this model asks a really provocative question. We usually think one order, one tote, one station, right? It all has to happen in one place. But what if we just threw that rule out the window for a massive gain in efficiency?
Just follow the logic here. It's brilliant. Let's say you have 2 identical orders, and they both need items from pod A and pod B. Normally, you'd have to bring both of those pods to both stations. That's 4 total pod visits. But if you split the orders, you can have Station 1 only pick items from pod A, and Station 2 only pick items from pod B. The orders get put together later on, and the result? You do the exact same work with just 2 pod visits. That's a 50% reduction right there.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but I know what you're thinking. What about the numbers? Let's look at the hard data from the study and see what this actually does for the bottom line. Let's start with our key metric,
those pod visits, those wasted trips. The sequential model is our starting point. As you can see, just by switching to an integrated model, you get a really nice bump in efficiency. But then, look what happens when you add split orders on top of that. The number of wasted trips just plummets. It's cut by more than half compared to where we started.
So what does that mean for your actual productivity? Well, it's a direct connection. Fewer wasted trips means higher throughput. You can see the picks per hour just climb and climb as the system gets smarter. And that final model with both integration and split orders, it's a massive leap in performance. And here it is, the big number. The study found that when you combine an integrated model with the flexibility of split orders, you get a 46% increase in total throughput. Let that sink in for a second. 46%. That's not a small tweak, that is a genuine game changer.
So let's be super clear. This incredible gain doesn't come from buying faster robots or building more stations. It comes from pure intelligence. It's about seeing the big picture, integrating all your order and pod data, and then giving the system the flexibility to split orders. All of that works together to absolutely minimize every wasted second of robot travel and picker wait time.
So, the final question I want to leave you with is this, and it's something to take back to your teams. You already have the robots, you have the inventory. The real question is, how much hidden efficiency is just sitting there, locked away in your facility, waiting for you to unlock it, just by changing the way your system thinks?